Wow, is all I have to say. This is fantastic. And I just want to know, are you the kind of guy who wakes up in the middle of the night after either a dream or a nightmare and writes it down?
No.
Where does this come from then?
I have the most boring nightmares and dreams, and I mean, I've had like 4 good dreams in my life, and the rest are boring and pedestrian, you know? I'm going to the store, coming from the store, nothing important. But I think that, on the other hand, my days are spent in complete useless imagination. I'm just fantasizing about everything. I'm waiting in a restaurant for my order to come, and I'm thinking if somebody on the other table is hiding a murder, if they're gonna be coming from outer space, whatever it is, I'm fantasizing all day long.
Well, amazing, because this is just, I'm watching it going, how does he think of this stuff? And for you, I mean, every time I talk to you, you're like a kid in a candy store, and you just keep getting younger and younger and having more fun.
I do.
This must have been, it's your dream project, I would think.
It is. It's sort of all of my bucket list in one movie. I really love this movie so much. It comes straight from the most genuine place of my heart. It's a movie that takes a genre that is either forgotten or the object of nostalgia and wholeheartedly embraces it without postmodern winking and nudging. It's a poem to giant monster movies.
Yeah, and you knew, though, it was going to be a huge undertaking. What you did in Toronto, I mean, you used every soundstage you could possibly use.
Yes.
You built these huge sets, and then you put your actors through the worst torture I think anybody in the history of directing has ever done.
Yes.
How did you know that you were going to get through all of it?
I knew because I basically, a director's gift is like an explorer's, not to give, not to give in, not to quit. And as long as you don't, you're going to arrive to the ending with a couple of explorers behind you left. Many will die on the journey, but you get there. I mean, you look at the Everest, you look at the top, and you go, hey, let's get there. And you don't think about it after planning it and planning it and planning it. Once you're climbing, you don't stop.
So what really challenged you in this whole thing?
It's a stamina. I mean, just lasting. You got to be made of very hard plastic to make the journey. You have to really be able to be fiscally responsible, technically proficient, artistically minded. It's a whole combination of features that allow a director to survive.
And you have some, fantastic actors in this, and really they took that journey with you,
Yes.
hook, line, and sinker. But when they, just take me back for the first day you put people, like Rinko or Charlie and Eldris in those con pods and made them, they're ultimately doing a 12-hour workout per day, you know?
It was really horrible for me too. I know that it doesn't look that way for them because I was in a monitor with a cappuccino, but my heart was breaking for them, honestly. I'm being not ironic. It's as savvy as as terrible as it sounds. But I was there suffering because they were in pain. The first day was Rob Kaczynski and Max Martini. And second day, we had fixed a lot of the problems. Third day, we had fixed a lot of the problems. Then fourth day comes Idris and Rob. And it was tough. It was like starting all over. And by the time Charlie came in, we had solved X amount of problems. But they had a 2-ton machine on their back, digging in. They were on an exercise machine. They had 2 machines strapped to their arms. Every movement was like being in an exercise machine. And then I started throwing water and fire and smoke and steam at them and sparks. Poor people, I like them, but...
Oh, well, you know what, I think at the end of the day, they were all happy that they did it.
No, and I did it with love.
Yeah. And they love working with you. What is your secret? How do you keep such happy sets, especially under such strain?
I care, and I think that I did about 12, 13 movies as part of a crew before directing. And if you want to direct well, you need to be part of a crew. If you want to command, you need to obey before, and you learn to follow orders. And I think that when an actor feels lonely, when somebody in the set is super tired, and you try to, within still achieving your end, you try to keep telling them, I know where you are, I know how you feel, I'm with you.
Yeah, that's good. Well, they felt it for sure. In the film, obviously, the co-pilot, they have to drift, they have to mind meld. Who in real life would you want to be your co-pilot?
I think Stephen King. I would love that. I would love to get all his ideas. He can get all my ideas. I would love to know where his mistakes and how he learned from them, everything.
You worked on this film with ILM.
Yeah.
My goodness, did they exceed your expectations?
Yes, they did. I mean, I think, once again, I think that what a director does is create an environment where people think they can invest the best of themselves, and it will be rewarded by showcasing it. And I feel that we had a very good relationship in that. They knew they were going to work hard, but they knew I would take care of them at the end of the day.
Yeah, you've given us so many great things, and then I know it's been 5 years since you actually directed a film. You've given, producing up the wazoo. But why finally? Why was it so long that you decided to wait?
Well, I didn't decide. I spent 2 years in The Hobbit and 1 year on Mountains of Madness, and then Pacific Rim. I mean, the two movies that didn't happen were unfortunately very elaborate movies.
What was the role, or the movie that changed your life just completely, that you worked on and just set you on your course? Yeah, that set you on your course.
I think the first movie, Kronos, and then probably Pan's Labyrinth. Pan's reached a much wider audience than the other movies, and it sort of it gave coherence to all the other movies before, and it demonstrated that all those things that I was doing had a reason and had a structure to it.
Yeah, I want to go back a little bit about the casting, because you picked some, like I said earlier, some amazing actors. But why ultimately Charlie Hunnam for this?
I like Charlie because he has a very sort of uncomplicated, good heart, and it comes across. I mean, he's a guy that is ultimately a good guy, one of the few genuine good guys I know on earth, and that comes across in the movie. He can play a hardcore biker in Sons of Anarchy, but I believe his nature is closer to Rolly.
Yeah. You're going to be back in Toronto, and we always love having you. You're going to be working your next film as Crimson Peak, and I'm really excited because you've cast Benedict Cumberbatch in that. Can you just tell us a little bit about what to expect from that film?
Yeah. Crimson Peak is a really, at the same time, a very traditional Gothic romance with ghosts and all that, and a creaky house and all that. But at the same time, has very extreme violence and kinky erotic elements. So,
Another one of your dreams. That one I'm sure is a dream.
No, I am pretty meat and potatoes.
And Jessica Chastain is going.
Yeah.
She is brilliant, that woman.
Mia Wasikowska, Jessica, Benedict, and Charlie Hunnam.
Well, awesome. We can't wait to have you back in Toronto. And I have to tell you that I've now renamed you Guillermo del Toronto.
I love it. I take it.
That is your new name. Stick with it.
I'm becoming Canadian. And I'll apply for that name.
We will always have you there. Thank you. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Bringing back the Toro to Toronto.
I love it.